Many of us have questions like, why are we here? Where did things start? And why do bad things happen to good people? Questions like these float around in our heads, make their ways into conversations, and are answered to ourselves by theories and ideas by people who we deem as much smarter than ourselves. The actuality of it is we do have an answer. We just tend not to like it. The answer lies in a book written 2,000 years ago, containing stories of miracles, Jonah being swallowed by a giant fish, people of Israel walking across the Red Sea on dry land, Father Abraham, and a man named Jesus. But the true question is why is this so important? What is the point of everything in there? And why does this apply to me? The answer lies in the heart of it all. When God created the world, He spoke it into being. God is perfect. He is all-powerful and all-knowing. It sounds crazy to believe in a world where we tend to rely more on science than anything else. But looking at the world, we see the intricacies and the beauty of it all, and it's almost undeniable to believe that there's a God. God created the world. He spoke it, and there were trees and plants and animals and humans. We were all perfect. Everything that God made was perfect because God is perfect. So there we were, living in this perfect world, communing with God, talking with Him, walking with Him, just living with God because we were perfect in ourselves. But as time went on, we chose to do something different. We chose to go against God, against the one thing that He said not to do, because we wanted to be like Him. We wanted to be smarter. We wanted to be better and be like God. So we went against what He said. And we broke His one rule. And now the perfection that we had is now complete imperfection. We're stained with the mark of our choices, and the decisions we thought would bring us more joy actually ripped the only true joy that we had away. So now the connection that we had so closely with God is now separated by a gap bigger than we could ever imagine. Just like a courtroom trial, we were now found guilty, and our sentence was now an eternal punishment. Punishment that we can't even fathom. So we went on, and we lived our lives, and we went further and further away from God. In our anger, we said we could do it on our own. Some remained faithful, choosing to stay with God because they knew that the only thing that could sustain them was God. The only thing good was God. But a sacrifice was needed, something to take our place, something innocent and perfect to take our charge of imperfection set against us. That is the only way reconciliation can be made. The only way that we can get back together in perfection with Christ, with God, is to have a perfect sacrifice in our place. But as we all know, no one is perfect. So there's put on us a weight we could not carry and a requirement of perfection we cannot keep. The only thing left perfect is God Himself. And He is exactly the only one who could save us. God, seeing us as a wife who cheated on her husband, choosing other things over than Him, He decided to come and take us back. So God chose to put aside His royal status and came to where we were, left His perfection to live among the broken and lost. Jesus was perfect. Jesus was innocent and lived a perfect life. He never had a moment of a bad attitude or a sinful anger. And He was perfect. But He chose to die. He chose to take our place and live to be our innocent sacrifice, choosing a painful, agonizing death to set us free from the bondage to sin. He was buried for 3 days. He sat lifeless in a tomb for 3 long days. But He didn't stay dead. Though He rose from the dead, defeating the sin and the weights which pull us down, and His perfection and supremacy reigns victorious over all evil and wrong in the world. He lives, He reigns, and He's preparing for us a home for those who believe. See, the basis of the Bible, Christianity and life in itself, is not about being good people. It's always been about seeing that we can't be perfect. We cannot be perfect to fix our own relationship with God. So Jesus came to be our replacement. We can now enjoy our relationship with God because of the fact that he came to buy us back. He paid the price to reconcile us to himself. So our choice is, do we really believe this gospel, this truth, this good news that Jesus came and said, you are enough to die for? Are we willing to believe that you can now live in freedom from your sin and bondage, and that you can live in a life without fear? This is the good news. Jesus loves us in our sin and in our imperfection. He only sees his perfection of our replacement, and the joy is now ours. And Jesus is enough.